How do you find that balance between monetization and trust in long-term relationships?
I'm just upfront with everyone. I don't like have a sneaky backdoor deal.
The goal is to help people.
It can be, you can burn out, it can be overwhelming.
Tell us, what does it mean for you to be a super connector?
To be a super connector just means...
Hey, this is Mike from Introstars, and today we're super excited to bring our brand new episode of the Super Connectors podcast. And today we've got a really big treat for you. We've got a very special VIP guest, Ben Yurcisin, the ultimate super connector of Brooklyn. Ben, so good to have you on the show today.
Thank you for pronouncing my last name right. Most people don't get it first time, so I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me on the show. Excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Ben. So tell us, what does it mean for you to be a super connector?
To be a super connector just means, creating a lot of valuable relationships for people, putting people in the room together that are going to benefit from each other, and everyone kind of wins, and there's a positive energy and overall kind of atmosphere of rising tides raise all ships. Not fighting against each other, but what can we do to help each other win? Helping establish that concept is what being a super connector means for me.
And so when did you start defining yourself as a super connector? Was there a moment you thought, I love connecting people, I'm doing this all the time, now I might as well call myself a super connector?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. So kind of when I start, I'll give a very short version.
Yeah.
When I started my startup journey, I went to this large innovation festival called Propelify in the Hoboken waterfront. I had no startups. I had no idea what I was doing there. So naturally, I snuck in the VIP section because the drinks were a lot cheaper.
Of course.
From there, I ended up on an interview and kind of started my own company. And then they discovered me at Propelify, so that I end up helping to volunteer and run that festival moving forward. So that's kind of when I started getting involved in events and entrepreneurship and networking, and I was like, this is pretty amazing. So from mutual connections, I ended up getting an opportunity to run the Jersey City Tech Meetup.
Wow.
And then I hosted my own events, and just from there, once I was in a room seeing people connect, business opportunities, just people really excited and happy to be together, that excited me. That like sparked something within me, and I was like, I'm meant to bring people together and kind of help establish really meaningful, authentic relationships.
And now in your day-to-day job, how do you connect people? Like, what types of introductions do you make? How often do you make introductions? Is that part of your day-to-day experience?
Yeah, so I'm the chief of staff for the Generative AI Network. Essentially, we have a global network of 150,000 members, all very interested in AI, emerging technology, automation. So a lot of what we do is we host events around the world, just, people who want to figure out how to leverage this technology for their business, to create startups, even to just like incorporate it into an enterprise, find low-hanging fruit. So a lot of connections I make are for people who want to find ways to leverage AI. And we do a lot of work connecting vendors and buyers. So there's a lot of people providing services around AI and a lot of larger companies who want to figure out how to bring it into the companies. So by being in the center of this large global network, we kind of see who's the players in the game and then bring them together and create strategic partnerships and, find referrals and monetization opportunities within all of that.
So you're talking about referral opportunities and monetization opportunities. How do you actually monetize introductions? You obviously want to build your personal brand as a great connector, as a trusted person, trusted advisor, build long-term relationships and build trust. But then when you start monetizing, there's always a bit of a risk there to damage relationship or make it sound too transactional. So how do you find that balance between monetization and trust in long-term relationships?
In the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, I made all these connections and it was amazing. I felt really good. Everyone's like, Ben's awesome, Ben's awesome. And then they all were making money and I wasn't. And I was like, something's wrong in this picture. This isn't right. Like, I think it's fair that if someone creates a business relationship, they should get a piece of that pie too. So just through learning and following a lot of entrepreneurs, like David Meltzer is one that really kind of instilled this thing in me where he's like, you're creating value. It's okay to get a referral agreement in place for the relationships you make. And the way I do it to be not transactional or not feel phony or weird is I'm just upfront with everyone. I don't like have a sneaky backdoor deal. I just say, listen, I have a referral agreement in place, but I really think you could benefit from this. So let me make an introduction. I only get paid if something happens here. So it's no risk for anyone. But I found that no one really pushes back on that. And they agree that I should get a piece too for making a valuable relationship. So I find that just being transparent and open about that makes it so it's more authentic. It doesn't feel kind of like a used car salesman sort of thing.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that transparency is everything because it's part of your personal brand to be a super honest and transparent person where you disclose it upfront. Listen, I might get a chunk of money here, but I'm really doing it because I want to help you, not because of the money. And by the way, the money is because it's fair compensation, because you put your effort, your reputation on the line, you build those relationships. So it's only fair for you to get compensated if something ever comes out of it. So it doesn't sound as used car salesman. It's more like an honest person building relationships and building their own career as well, right?
Yeah, creating value. You know, this is all about value exchange. And at the end of the day, these people who are buying the services need the services, and the providers are solving a problem they have. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win-win. All of the relationships, all the networking and being a super connector, it's just about creating win-win-win scenarios and not stepping on anyone to make it happen. You can be a good person and do business, right? A lot of people have this, especially in New York City, that think, oh, you got to be a shark, you got to step on people. It's like, no, you can be an honest, authentic person. Everyone make money and just create this mutually valuable experiences.
I agree with you 100%. But obviously, how do you teach that or try to inspire young people to have that mindset? We talk to Gen Z, young people are not used to going to networking events or on their phone all day. How do you tell them, hey, by the way, you can go out there, build your network, make some introductions, earn money from it in an honest way to create this win-win situation? How do you work with like younger people who might not understand that, or people who think it's too transactional, they don't understand the actual value?
More recently than ever, the way I've been positioning it, especially in the AI world, is, hey, a lot of things are being automated with AI. A lot of jobs are being less relevant. You might be worried about the future of your career, things like that. The one thing that will never be taken away is in-person energy and networking. Everyone's gonna be running the same AI automated cold outreach campaigns. You know, everyone's gonna be doing the same lead gen, writing articles, white paper. It's all gonna be the same at one point. So what differentiates you from everyone else is getting out there and actually being an honest, authentic person in person. So it's almost like the more technologically advanced we get, the more that low touch in-person relationships actually sets you apart. It's ironic a little bit, but it's kind of how the world's working right now.
Yeah, 100%. I'm the same. I truly believe in the value of human relationships and trust. And the only way to do that is to build your personal brand by going in person to in-person events, shaking someone's hand, looking at them in the eye. Because if you just send them a cold email, just an AI spam bot in their mind, in their perception, they don't know you're a real person. So you need to go out there in person. Absolutely.
Even by the way, even when you're doing sales, things like that, because everyone is just fatigued by being on Zoom back to back every day. Ever since COVID, it's been the way the world works, and even myself included. If I have a day where I'm just on Zoom back to back, by the end of the day, my brain feels like spaghetti. I'm like, oh my God. So it's like, just like if you're doing a deal or just like trying to connect with someone, go get a cup of coffee. You just like, have an opportunity to look them in the eyes and just actually exchange ideas and energy and not be so rushed by that little 30-minute time slot of a Zoom call, and just actually have a real life interaction.
Also, when you've got lots of online meetings back to back, at the end of the day, it all mushes together in one blur in your
I don't
head,
even know
right?
what day it is anymore.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly,
is this
right?
Saturday or Friday? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and who said what in which conversation, it all melts
Exactly. You're
together.
just like immediately shifting gears. It's like your
yeah.
brain,
Whereas when you're in person, there's like a physical emotion attached to it. And so you really remember the conversation.
100%. I remember those conversations, those relationships so much more with the actual in-person. If you have a nice 1-hour coffee with someone, you talk business for a little bit, but then, like when we met the last time, we talked about like spas and other shit, and I've been going there, by the way. I just went 2 days ago. So like those little things that are like more interesting than just being transactional. That's going back to your other question too, about how do you not just be transactional? Talk about things that interest you too, because you find a lot of things in common with people when you get those conversations going.
Absolutely. Now, when you start to make lots and lots of introductions, sometimes it's hard to track them, to remember which introduction you made when, etc. So when you look at new tools on the market like introstars, which can track every introduction you make and receive, and also reward introducers on success, whether it's yourself or someone else, how do you think that changes the whole dynamic for yourself, for other introducers out there?
It's wonderful. I honestly have never used a tool like introstars until you introduce it to the market. So I think it's great, because I'm traditionally just have a spreadsheet and I'm just kind of like trying to keep track of everything. I'm like, did I actually do that? Did they do the call? Did they meet? Does someone owe me money? And I'm just like trying to track it all. And that on top of those back-to-back days of Zoom calls and the meetings and everything, it's too much to keep track of. And then, the last thing you want is to have made a valuable relationship and someone owes you money and you don't even remember it. So you're not chasing them. They're certainly not chasing you to pay you for the most part. So with a tool like introstars, it just helps you stay organized and really have it all in one place. So you're not like checking your notes and your Google Docs and this and that emails. You just have it in one spot, almost like a CRM specifically for introductions and referrals that gets you paid. So I think it's a wonderful thing. And, people really should get on the platform and see what it could do to kind of help them monetize their relationships.
Well, hopefully it's going to inspire a whole new generation of connectors out there, of super connectors, people to go out there and make more introductions. Really, the goal is to help people and make more introductions, connect people, bring the world closer together, and fair compensation for everyone, right? That's really important.
100%. And like what you mentioned about the next generation, I feel like a lot of times kids are just very accustomed to social media, being on their phones. Like they're kind of scared for these in-person relationships. So if anyone's listening to this right now, that's kind of a younger generation, think of the fact that you going out to networking events, that could be your differentiator among your peers. Because if everyone else is scared to do it and they're just like only doing social media and you're the one getting out there shaking hands, people will remember you and be like, oh, that young kid, actually, he looked me in the eye. He wasn't afraid to actually, shake my hand and that sort of thing. So it's really a way to be different and have a competitive edge amongst people in your demographic.
Cool. So what are you working on right now where people can follow you? Is there a specific place you want to share what you're working on? Any cool projects you're working on right now?
Yeah. So, primarily the Generative AI Network at thegenainetwork.com. We have a global network of 150,000 members. We do events all around the world, and we help people with like what their AI strategy is, kind of sales and marketing, lead gen, things like that. And then other than that, we have tranquila.ai, which is one of the most important things I've ever been a part of, which is kind of leveraging empathic and agentic AI to tackle the global mental health crisis with veterans and beyond. So we're kind of leveraging the technology to actually solve real problems and help people in need with a 24/7 empathic support agents. So Tranquila AI, the Gen AI Network, and you can find me on LinkedIn, Ben Yurcisin.
Amazing. How did you get into that whole mental health space? Was that like a personal passion of you? Did you meet someone who needed help? You thought, I need to do some here?
Yeah, so I've always really cared about mental, especially in the startup world, because I've been an entrepreneur for as long as I can remember. And it can be, you can burn out. It can be overwhelming. The future, you're not really sure what's happening. So I think it's really important to talk about mental health.
Yeah.
And then what we kind of found was that a couple people in our inner circle that were veterans shared that with, places like veteran support or nonprofits, they're sitting there waiting on hold for support, or they're being told to call back in 3 days. The people who need the most help are actually kind of treated like a number. And we thought, like, that's really unacceptable and immoral. And now with this new wave of more like human-like AI that now has a heart, AI's always had a brain, now it has a heart, we could kind of use this to fill the gap of that veteran support. So it's been a little bit about something that I'm just passionate about. And then just from hearing it, you got to listen to the market. When people are talking about issues, think about what you can do to help solve those problems, whether it's creating a solution or introducing them to someone who already has a solution.
Thank you so much for putting heart into AI.
Absolutely.
It's all about the heart. It's also about love, helping each other, making the world a better place. So thank you so much, Ben. Really appreciate our conversation. And I can't wait to see you at many networking events.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. Check out introstars, everyone.
Thanks, Ben.
You got it.